covering your campus, your community, and your world. From the McElroy Communication Arts Center in the Grant Price Studio, this is WTV8 News.
And coming up on WTV8 News, we'll show you firsthand what Wartburg students did in honor of MLK Day.
It's back. The dreaded four-letter word of winter hit the ground last week. We have all the numbers from winter to remember.
And in sports, the Knights took to the court at Loras last week, and we'll have all your Wartburg hoops highlights. So stay tuned because your WTV8 News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Bridgewater.
And I'm Jacqueline Schutte. Classes were shortened today for Martin Luther King Day. Today is not only MLK Day, but it is also a national service holiday.
I found out how Wartburg College honored the man and his dream through an afternoon of service. Instead of having the afternoon off, hundreds of Wartburg students spent the afternoon giving back to their community. The Center for Community Engagement, along with the Volunteer Action Center, organized 22 different service sites on and off campus.
Serving allows you to connect with others as well as learn a little bit more about yourself. It helps you gain skills, and I think more importantly, it's the connection with others.
One of the largest service projects was Blankets of Love. In its second year of existence at Wartburg, students made tie blankets for the students at Bremwood, making at least one blanket for each student.
So I wanted to start something that Wartburg students could be involved in and helping to show these Bremwood residents that they're not alone in this battle and that they can, rely on others and that there are people there to support them.
Other projects on the Wartburg campus included collecting and sorting grocery sacks for the Northeast Iowa Food Bank and making care packages for the troops serving in Afghanistan.
I know how much work they put in overseas, and they don't get the recognition that they deserve.
At the end of the afternoon, approximately 450 students engaged in an act of community service. According to the independent sector, 1 hour of volunteering is worth just under $17 in the state of Iowa, meaning Wartburg students put in an estimated value of just under $23,000 worth of service.
I would hope to see this as a springboard to future engagement. There's lots of different things Wartburg students are doing on campus in terms of service. Between service trips, St. Elizabeth's Week in the fall, we really look to this day to get students involved who might not otherwise be involved in service.
And in addition to the day, Wartburg will be collecting non-perishable food items, and you can drop off those food items in the Student Center Hub, the Center for Community Engagement, or in the chapel.
If you are looking to add a little culture to your life, then there is an opportunity for you. Wartburg is looking for families to host international students. The college is welcoming 14 more international students this semester. This adds to the 129 that are already here. Host families welcome students to the community and help them with the transition into American culture. There are currently 100 host families in Waverly. An international potluck will be held on January 22nd for interested participants. Contact the International Student Office for more information.
Every year at this time, the College's Enrollment Management Office takes a look at how many students will continue to call Wartburg home. The official retention numbers will not be known until January 27th. However, WTV8 News did speak with Enrollment Management to get a preview of this year's expected numbers. Last school year, Wartburg saw the student retention rate reach a record-setting 96%. Vice President of Enrollment Management, Dr. Edith Wallstein, says that she does not expect retention numbers to break records once again, but is still expecting high numbers this term.
But it's a strong retention, and I would say it's always right around 95%.
At Wartburg, we take technology in the classroom for granted. In following Wartburg's spirit of service, 2 students are working to bring technology to underprivileged kids. The students are working with several professors and a student from Ghana to start laying the groundwork to set up a math and science clinic in his home country.
Bring in students and teach them basic computing skills. We're going to teach them skills like graphic design, websites design, secretarial services, e-commerce, hardware and software, and everything of the sort.
To donate to the cause, visit msclinicghana.org. The Math and Science Clinic is a nonprofit project that will launch this summer.
New Year's resolutions are creating a surge of new memberships at the W. Starting in December, the W has added a number of new memberships. About 76 members have joined and 30 others have renewed their membership. Sometimes resolutions are hard to keep, but Beth Meyer gives her thoughts on how long people stick to their fitness goals.
You know, some people come in, they get motivated, they have a plan. Sometimes those that don't have a plan tend to get frustrated easily. So you're seeing maybe a 1 month of actual usage that tends to drop off. Maybe you get a couple months. We're hoping to keep them here, obviously, long term.
And if you'd like to start your New Year's resolution at the W, you can visit www.the-w.org.
Coming up, high school choir members from around the Midwest rush to Newman on Saturday. Find out why.
And later, is technology changing the way students use the Vogel Library? Stay tuned for more WTV8 News. Wind chills of nearly 20 degrees below zero marked the end of a very spring-like January. WTV8's Ben Hoffman recaps this year's record-breaking winter.
Whether you like it or not, it's here. Snow. The record high temperatures and record low snowfall have come to a bitter end. It wasn't that long ago that streets looked like this. You could actually see the green on the golf course, and the park was in full swing. But don't think that these seasoned winter veterans will have any trouble adjusting.
But yeah, I had to, remember the fact that I have to wear a hat and wear gloves and stuff because, we hadn't for so long.
No, it wasn't terrible. I've got coats.
This winter was one of the most unusual in Iowa history. The average high through last Wednesday was only 1 degree away from a new record high at nearly 30 degrees. Snowfall records were also reaching new lows at nearly a foot below average and nearly 2 feet short of last winter's numbers, only 2.6 inches. Despite their ability to adjust to this sudden change, the rare warm winter weather is something that will be missed in this area.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like I said, it's actually been really nice so far, kind of unexpected, so it was just kind of a treat, I guess. I've been waiting for it to be like this.
Yes. I was disappointed around Christmas that we didn't have snow, but once that passed, I was really hoping it would stay like this for a really long time, which is so nice. But I'm excited that we'll have spring fever, actually have the chance to, be excited for the spring and be excited for nice weather to come back too.
So it's finally over. The snow is blowing, the trees are all covered in frost, and none of it seems to be going anywhere anytime soon. Reporting for WTV8 News, I'm Ben Hoppenworth.
The music department held its annual Meister Singers Honor Choir Festival last Saturday. A record-setting 350 high school students from 4 different states participated in the festival this year. Throughout the day, the participants worked alongside Wartburg choir members on mastering the songs they performed at the final concert that night. Around 20 high school students also were nominated by their music directors to be a part of a voice masterclass, and 4 were later chosen for solos at the concert.
Hopefully it motivates, inspires them to bring back the things that they learned here to their own program and help lift up their program.
The day also consisted of a mini-concert featuring the musical ensembles Infinity and Festiberg, in addition to a session with opera star Simon Estes.
A local photojournalist has brought his love of nature to Wartburg College. A collection of landscape photos of North America entitled Enchanted by Prairie debuted in the Walter A. Schmidt Art Gallery last Friday. Bill Witt, a photojournalist from Cedar Falls who served in Afghanistan as a U.S. Peace Corps volunteer, has brought his work to Wartburg. The exhibit shows the landscapes of North American prairies and the wonders that lie within them.
I would go out to the prairies just to renew my spirits and to just kind of get some psychological rejuvenation.
Enchanted by Prairie will be displayed from January 13th to February 23rd. And coming up, to find out how technology impacts students using the Vogel Library.
Plus, TiVo Mania, why it's topping a new segment here on WTV8 News. The internet gives college students at Wartburg access to thousands of online articles and resources. So the question is, does the library really matter?
WTV8's Justin Saccone tells us some surprising information about how Wartburg students use the library despite having technology at their fingertips.
The Vogel Library has long been a sanctuary for students to get away from the distractions of the dorms and study in peace. Surrounding them are thousands of resources at their instant disposal, but with information becoming more accessible online, how often do students use what is right in front of them? Senior Bibek Chen says he regularly checks out literature from the library for multiple reasons.
I take books out for some of my research papers. Political science, it has a lot of research papers, so it requires a lot of materials to be checked out from the library. And I also do some leisure reading, so sometimes I just borrow journals and just read them, just preparing for future.
With the internet becoming more of a factor into how homework is being completed and electronic books replacing the real things, one would think that Vogel's circulation would drop. But according to head librarian Chris Schaefer, the total jumped nearly 1,500 titles between the 2009-10 and 2010-11 school year. Schaefer says this is because students haven't adjusted to the e-books yet.
Students have been kind of slow to want to transition to electronic books. I think they, at this point in time, prefer the print books.
Now, one of the library's most underutilized services by students is interlibrary loan, which gives students access to thousands of titles all across the country.
When I do library instruction for classes that come in, I usually ask the class how many of them have an interlibrary loan account, and I'm always amazed at the small number of people who raise their hands.
I guess I've heard a little bit about it, but not too much. I like more stuff that is like right here where I can just grab it easier rather than trying to find it.
As a library employee, Chan is aware of ILL, but does not really use it.
Not so much. I've used it a few times, but not that extensively.
DVDs are also a big part of the library, and it's moved from the bookshelves to the more open new book area.
In my opinion, I thought they were really hard to find. So over the summer, we pulled all the DVDs out of the collection, and now we have them all together right downstairs by the new book area, so that they're really easy for somebody like you to browse and find something you might want to look at for free instead of renting it from the video store.
Schaefer sees the future of the library becoming more electronic as Vogel is trying to stay ahead of the curve by reducing their reference total over the last couple of years.
I've seen print collections really shrink as more and more resources are available electronically. So I think you are going to see the physical library collection shrink.
Reporting for WTV8 News, I'm Justin Zacconi.
Vogel Library has decreased its audiovisual collection by over 1,000 titles, mostly from videotapes that are out of date. Schaefer says the ebooks will be added over the next couple of years.
A homeless New York student could have her college dreams come true. 17-year-old Samantha Garvey and her family were forced into a homeless shelter. Despite facing personal hardships, Samantha's marine biology research put her in the running for a $100,000 scholarship. The team has been named as one of 300 semifinalists in the prestigious Intel Science Talent Research.
A Kansas high school is searching for a new logo to avoid a legal battle with the University of Notre Dame. Officials with Notre Dame said the high school logo was a little too familiar with the university's Fighting Irish trademark. Here's a look at the two logos. Students at the Kansas high school held a contest to design the logo. Notre Dame praised the high school district for its cooperation to design and vote for a new logo.
Tempers flared at a college basketball game between the University of Arizona and Oregon State. A shoving match broke out between players after Arizona scored in overtime. Coaches and other team members kept the incident from escalating, but fans booed from the seats in reaction to the confrontation. And the Arizona Wildcats went on to beat the Oregon State Beavers 81-73.
The release of the new Apple iPhone 4S caused a small riot in Beijing, China. Shoppers got rowdy when the Apple store in Beijing ran out of iPhones. The unhappy patrons pelted the store with eggs, rocks, and other objects. Police officers were called to the scene.
Coming up in sports, the Wartburg basketball teams hit the hardwood multiple times last week, plus the wrestlers were in action twice. Stay tuned, sports is in 2 minutes. Welcome back to WTV8 News. The Wartburg basketball teams were in action twice last week. First up for the Lady Knights was Wednesday when the Spartans from Dubuque came to town. Late in the first half, Leslie Wilson comes up with a big rebound in the bucket. Then Molly Whiting gets through the Wartburg defense for this layup. Knights down by 3 at halftime. The Knights come out strong in the second half with this three-pointer by Terry Dirks. Knights lead 28-25. Stephanie Ryder helps the Knights out here with a 3-ball, but it wouldn't be enough, and the orange and black fall in this one 49-43. Wilson led the team with 12 points, and Sadecki added 11. Terry Dirks had 10 rebounds, and Wilson led the Knights on the boards with 11. Next up for the women was the Loris Dewhawks. The Knights traveled to Dubuque on Saturday to try to come out with a win. Wartburg came out in dominating fashion as they were ahead 42-27 at halftime. They extended their margin to as many as 22 points in the second half. Wartburg was victorious, to say the least, beating Loris 79-59. Stephanie Ryder and Terry Dirks each set new career highs on the day with 22 and 17 points respectively. Leslie Wilson and Maddie Sadecki finished with 16 and 10 points. Now with that win, the women improved to 12-4 overall and 5-2 in conference play. The women played tonight when the Cornell Rams came to Waverly. You can stay tuned next week for all the highlights, but the women did win 72-58. Turning now to the men's side, the Knights were also in action twice last week. First up was the University of Dubuque last Wednesday. UD gets things started here with a three-pointer from Chris Frazier. Then Mitchell Murphy says, "Hey, I can do the same thing," and he responds with his own tray. Darian Patterson joins in on the three-point fun when he drains this one. Knights go into halftime down by 8. Jordan Sadoff comes out of halftime hot as he hits this three-pointer, and it's nothing but net. Lee Pisanelli hits back-to-back three-pointers for the Spartans here. And with the Knights still down, Drew Crawford helps out by adding 3 points. Now desperately trying to make a comeback, Thomas Perkins hits not 1, not 2, but 3 shots, 2 from beyond the arc, tying the game at 66. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, and the orange and black fall in this one, 71-66. Sadoff led all scorers with 25 points, and Perkins added 10. Patterson had a team-best 7 rebounds on the night. Like their women counterparts, the men also headed to Dubuque on Saturday to take on the Dewhawks. The men were looking to snap a 3-game losing streak, and they were off to a good start as they were ahead 37-29 at halftime. The Dewhawks outscored the Knights in the second frame, but it wasn't enough, and Wartburg won 73-66. 2 Knights finished in double digits as Sadoff had 28 points and Murphy recorded a career-high 19 points. Sadoff also finished a perfect 10 for 10 at the charity stripe. Now with that win, the men moved to 8-8 overall and 2-5 in Iowa Conference play. The Knights are currently in action against the Cornell Rams. And finally, the top-ranked Wartburg wrestling team was in action multiple times last week. On Thursday, the Knights defeated Buena Vista 32-7. With that win, the Knights increased their Iowa Conference dual win streak to 153 straight matches. Ryan Fank, Kenny Anderson, Mike Kramer, Matt Versillo, Bryce Gretsch, Landon Williams, Ben Scott, and Sam Upa all won their matches. Then on Saturday, 3 individuals won their respective weight class titles at the Cornell Open. Bradley Banks and Ben Scott tied for the 174 title, and Byron Tate won the 197 class. Coe won the team title with 153 points, and Wartburg was 4th with 94 points. The Knights return to the mats Thursday when they host Luther at 7. Now the Wartburg indoor track and field team were also in action last Friday, so for all those highlights, check out Sports Night tomorrow night.
And then Shelby, just kind of give us a preview of what else is going to be on Sports Night tomorrow.
Tomorrow night we have, again, wrestling highlights, more in depth, more basketball highlights. We shine our senior spotlight on senior basketball player Emily Timmermans, and we take a look at D3 recruiting.
All right, thank you, Shelby. And that's all the time we have for sports, but we will be right back. Kicking off the newest segment of WTV8 News, Trendsetter. In this segment, we'll bring you all the news everyone is talking about. So what are people talking about right now? Well, Tim Tebow, and that song right there by the 80s hit One Wonder John Parr. And how far can Tebow Mania go? Well, I really like the song All He Does Is Win when Skip Bayless is auto-tuned. I think that's a better song than that one.
I think honestly. A good song for Tim Tebow right now would be Bad Day.
I think so, because all he does is win. Oh, wait, he just lost to the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
And the obsession with vampires on TV just won't die. The popular movie series Twilight and hit HBO sci-fi drama True Blood have made their way into People's Choice Awards once again. When will it all end?
Probably never. But I really like the show The Walking Dead. That's more of a sci-fi thing that I think I could probably get into.
Have you seen the Twilight movies, Bridge?
No, and I don't think I'm ever going to either.
I said the same thing, and then I watched 3 of them over break.
I think I'm okay with that, so I'm not going to watch those. And
I think I might make you watch them.
So, Shelby, is it Edward or Jacob?
Oh, Edward. Definitely.
I can't believe that we're going to talk about this. So I think, I don't know. Twilight. I think as a guy, I'm just going to say no.
Okay, well, Bridge, how'd your Packers do the other day?
Well, to be honest, they didn't play the way they should have played. And I think what it came down to was that last Hail Mary that the Giants, with 5 seconds left. I mean, I thought they were going to kick a field goal, and then all of a sudden they're throwing it down to the end zone, and Cruz catches that amazing catch of a couple Packer defenders there, and that makes the game, instead of 3, it made it a 10-point game going in the halftime. That just kind of sucked the life out of Lambeau Field, and it just really was tough. And on that note, that's all the time we're going to have tonight, so be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 8 for another edition of Sports Night.
And Thursday at 8 for a new One Night Watch. I'd like to thank our director, Danny Householder, and technical director, Kelsey Bemis. And as always, our chief engineer, Jim Olmstead. Have a good night, Cedar Valley.